Too big, too broke, no hope. Never listen hard-headed. Putting in work overtime on the low. Only did what God tell me. Nigga big shining, big dominant.
Stop playing games. This ain't Nintendo. Ha. You gotta stop wasting time. You're just getting in the way.
I was bumping your music earlier. I was bumping it on the way here too.
For real?
Yeah, I'm big on supporting anybody I interview. I gotta believe in your music in itself.
Yeah, makes sense.
It make a world of a difference on the interview. Welcome to another episode of Artist to Artist at the AV Club. You're here with your boy Westside, and I got a special guest with me today.
It's KGJ from Ottawa, Ontario.
Welcome to South Florida, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good, bro. How you doing?
I'm good. I can't complain, man. Just staying busy, working. So I want to jump in, going straight into your background, right?
Yeah.
So exactly, I know you from Canada,
Yeah.
right? But exactly where in Canada are you from?
See, like I was saying earlier, it's like Ottawa, Ontario. Like
Mm-hmm.
some people, it's like 4 hours away from like Toronto. Like I know a
Yeah.
lot of people like know like Toronto and shit. Like we're like around 4 hours away from there.
So it's like on the outskirts?
Not like outskirts. It's actually the capital. It's the capital of Canada for real.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
But it's just not. It just don't have like its big name yet. So like a bunch of people down there are trying to make
Yeah.
put the city on the map right now.
Okay. So let me ask you, one of my famous questions that I love to ask when I get on this show is, where does music start for you?
Music starts. Okay, like when did I start music? Like what age?
Well, I like to, before we get into when you started doing music, I like to ask, where does music start for you? Like, who is the person that put you onto music? The type of music you was listening to.
No, 100% was like my dad.
Your dad?
Yeah, like the stuff he would play around the house would always be inspiring. Like I know he loved like Ross a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and some of the R&B stuff he played I really loved.
Mm.
So that's why, like, you see, I like a lot of singing vibe.
Yeah.
I forget what the song. I think it's like a Mario song too. That would like I would always be singing at like 3 years old. Like, yeah.
Oh, so you was into music early.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why I'm like, wait, you trying to know what age?
Yeah. I like to know because to get an understanding, because even like you just said, the influence from the singing in certain songs that he would play, it kind of made you want to go into that as far as like your creativity. So like, where does music start for you as far as creating music?
Okay, so like, it just kind of like, if I'm just chilling, like let's say I'm just like going somewhere, let's say I'm driving, let's say I'm just chilling somewhere, and then as soon as like I get any inspiration, it just be happening randomly. Like one time, like that song you heard right there,
Yeah.
right? Like I was just talking to this like girl on like Snapchat, it was like some little thing here and there, right? And then she already started kind of like hitting me up like, yo, can you like send me some money? Like I need to go get like for like Uber Eats and stuff. I'm like,
Oh no,
bro, what do you think this is?
Yeah.
And then I was at us in the car, just stop playing games. This ain't Nintendo. Ha. Like I'm like, wait, that's actually kind of fire. So like I pulled out my Snapchat and I just like recorded myself singing it.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I got back home, I wrote like everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that usually how it starts for you as far as like your creativity process? Like, is it loosely based on like your experiences and things that you're dealing with?
Yeah. Sometimes experiences. Sometimes I'm just chilling and just like for example, like the newest song, like as of when now that just released, Time Is Money.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was just like chilling one day, just like working on some, and then it just came. I'm just like, they say time is money. I don't have enough. And I'm like, that's a cool line. Like, let me put that down. Like, it just inspiration just comes randomly. So I just make sure every time I do, I write it down and record it.
Okay. You're a writer. You're not a person that goes into the studio and freestyle or anything like that.
No, cause I record myself, like, you know. So since I do that, like, I'm always ready. I always can create.
Yeah.
So that's why, like, I don't really go to the studio that often, but like, if there's any like, engineers who want to like try working and like, or producers, like I'm always going to be down to try still. But like my main creative, like for like what's been going on, yeah, just recording myself, I like to do.
Okay. But let's go back to that. So where did that start for you as far as like recording yourself? Because not too many artists do that. Most of the time, they pay their fee, go to the studio, record with some of the homies. Like not too many are hands-on to where they're doing it at home. So how did you get into that?
Like recording myself specifically? Yeah. Okay. Like, so I'm gonna go back to my dad again. So since he inspired me, he was saying like, since I'm young, I was 14, and he's like, yo, what if like we get the studio equipment and then you learn to record us? So he bought all the equipment for me. Like, it's
shout out to Pops.
Shout out Pops.
Shout out to Pops.
That's why I always shout him out in my songs, because like literally everything started. He's always like motivating me every second he can. Just like, try this, try that. So like, he got all the studio equipment, and he would be like in like making sure I work on it, you know, like, cause he knows, cause I did something for fun on the computer like long back in the day, like I think I was like 10, and I did some funky ass beat on
some
on
app
the,
or something.
Actually no, it's like on FL Studio. Like, he
you
just
already had it. Okay.
So I just did some like funky beat, and he was like actually jamming to it. So he's like, you know what, like, you should actually try to, you know, hustle and see if you can figure out to do this on some real thing. And I did. So, but then when I did do it, I was doing the same thing I did when I was 10, and then, he hit me. Since I was older, he like roasted the hell out of me. Yeah. You know, and in the moment I was hurt. I'm not gonna lie, but sometimes you need that tough love to really like push yourself to become great. So that's where I say that I started like recording myself like at 14.
No, that's big, honestly. Like, I think that's probably like one of the obstacles that you face when you start doing your own music is being able to face criticism. A lot of people, they're not open to it or not able to take it. So like, for example, when I started, I think probably like my second song, I was lucky enough to get it to someone who was able to get it to the radio station.
Okay, that's
and
fire.
They turned it down. Now, the reason they turned it down was because of the quality of the song. I wasn't going to like no top-notch studio. I was paying $20 an hour at like a warehouse studio. They recorded, not really no mixing, you know, and then I was just excited because, you know, you start making music, you're not really thinking like, all right, does it sound the best quality possible? You're just happy you made a song. So, but I took the criticism. You know, I sat there with it for a couple minutes, processed it, and then understood that I just got to keep going. The fact that I was able to do that with a second song is a good thing. Lets me know that I'm on the right path to just keep working. So the fact that you open to criticism, that's a big thing. So shout out to you on that one.
I appreciate that, bro. You always got to stay open to criticism, man.
No, that's facts. So it sounds like Dad plays a big role when it comes to pushing you in this direction as far as your music. Does he have a music background himself?
Yeah, actually, he does have a music background. That's actually, I forgot to mention, that's actually one of the reasons that like it did inspire me, is because he was making music. In the city, he was like having these music videos that looked like a label signed him. And nobody else in the city was doing that. Yeah. You know, so like when it comes to like the history of the music in Ottawa, bro, like he is one of the people you got to look at. So that's why I see that and I'm like, yo, like you're just, you're more than just like my dad. Like, you're actually like a hustler. Yeah. Like who makes sure that like he will make himself look the greatest and put his best foot forward every time. And that's why he wants me to like train to like be like just like that, you know, because that's a good trait. Always make sure you put your best foot forward.
No, that's real. And as far as like him, the way he did his music, it seems like he's installing the drive for you to want to do things hands on to push yourself further. So I think that's a great situation in itself, is to have someone in your corner that, you know, got that experience to kind of tell you and nudge you like, yeah, keep going. So again, I want to give credit to Pops. And so I want to ask you, as far as like your story, right? So like, give me some obstacles or hurdles you faced as far as like doing music.
So, not gonna lie, like growing up, I was not the popular kid at all. Like, they would always like clown me. They'd be calling me loser and shit. So like, all the time, since a youngin', like all the way up to high school. So that's why, like, I don't know if you see on the end of my songs, like I always put like this new thing I'm kind of pushing. Yeah. And it's called Undr'Dg. Because I consider myself an underdog, like for real. Because a lot of the artists in the city, a lot of them had like popularity, you know, before. So they dropped their first song, that's already doing something. Me, I go there, I have like 0 people to really like listen to my things other than like maybe family, you know, and even family. My family didn't believe in it at all. Like my mom especially. really did not believe in it a lot. But the thing is, it's religion. My
Yeah.
mom is like Lebanese, so she's Muslim, and for her, like it's not like you can't do that in the religion.
Mhm.
So when I be going to my dad's house, cause I forgot to mention they split up like
Okay.
hella young.
Okay.
It's good, it kind of grew up like it always was like that. So
Yeah.
like, and I come back like singing, making music. She'd be getting like pretty vexed, like she'd be getting pretty mad at me.
Mm.
So everything was kind of pushing against me on this music thing. So like, that's why I consider myself an underdog, because I always have to prove myself every single time. And even to this day,
Mhm.
in the city, they still don't think I really got it. But like, I'm gonna be honest with you, like, I don't even think half of the artists can do all the stuff that I've been doing. Cause like,
Mhm.
I record myself, produce myself. Everything is done by myself. Everything you hear on that song is all me. It is all my work. I write it all, bro.
I gotta give you that. Not too many people are doing that. As far as like wearing that many hats to sit there and record themselves, to mix and master themselves. A lot of people, they just leave it in other people's hands and just say, you know what, I'm just gonna go to the studio, record, and it comes out how it comes out.
Even like, this is something I don't really like talk about often, but we even have our own like filming company. So like all the music videos you see, like that, if it says that Set a Card filming logo,
Mhm.
like me and my dad, we own that.
Mm.
Like that's all
That's
of
big.
it is still in house. Even the music videos, bro.
That's big. That's big. That goes a long way. Because that's one of the weaknesses that some artists have as far as like videos. So like some people not necessarily know who to go to. Like I was saying before, if you don't have someone that's experienced, you might go to someone that's janky. It might get you for your money, or give you something that's not in the quality or standard that you're looking for as far as like your videos. So as far as you having that gives you a one up on a lot of people. You mixing yourself, recording yourself, being able to get your own content out. Like you're a one-stop shop.
Yeah.
And that's literally what these labels is looking for, one-stop shop.
Yo, like I'm here,
Yeah. All right, so going back to your hometown, so like tell me what was it like, the upbringing as far as like being in that area in general?
Okay, like, so I grew up in like two different areas. They weren't the greatest. It was Hetherington. If you like
Mhm.
I remember I was like Googling, like I was showing people like where I grew up, and I just was trying to search it.
Yeah.
Hetherington, and then it just shows like the cops.
Mm.
Like I tried to search it on Google Images, it was just cops. It was Hetherington and Caldwell, and I'm just like, it doesn't even take that long to scroll, and you already see like things happening down there. So
Yeah.
wasn't the two greatest blocks, but the thing is though, like I still like had fun, even though I didn't really have any friends. Like music,
Mhm.
put on the headphones, I'm just vibing. I'm in my own world. It's nice. So that's why music is always a thing that takes me away, but also why I put my stuff on music. Once I was like really good at creating my own stuff, I always put my stuff on it, because the whole music thing is like really important to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Ottawa, it's pretty calm. Like it's not too like big of like a, like when you think of Toronto, you think like it's way more like city party stuff. Like
Mhm.
yeah, Ottawa isn't like too like, it's not that big. Like it's like Toronto's way bigger than us, but like we still have mad talent down there, for real,
Mhm.
But to wrap up the upbringing, like it wasn't like too much other than like just me just trying to figure out, like find myself, like what do I want to do? Because when everybody's doubting you and like saying like, nah, you can't do that,
Yeah.
there's a point where you start like, well, maybe I can, like maybe I really can't do it.
Mhm.
But that's when I keep falling back, and my dad always there to pull me
For
back
sure.
up.
Yeah.
Be like, nah, trust me, like I believe in you, and I look up to him. So if I have his belief, I don't need nobody else's.
No, that's facts. That's facts. So to wrap up the upbringing, I want to touch bases on a topic because I know you're Haitian, Haitian descent. So I want to ask you, like, what was the experience as far as like growing up in that area as Haitian descent? Given an example, like as far as when I was growing up in this area, I want to say middle school, elementary, it wasn't really cool to be Haitian. Like, I remember my cousin like telling me not to not to speak in Creole like in school because they didn't really want people to know because you would get clowned or picked on. So I want to see, and now, it flipped. Now it's cool to be Haitian. Everybody got a Haitian cousin or, some type of connection to the culture. So like, what was the experience growing up?
So
Haitian?
like, to be completely honest, like we don't really have in Ottawa, it's not really like that as far as bullying like Haitians, like that honestly, like because it's very multicultural.
Yeah.
So like everybody's kind of used to seeing so many different races. But as far as me though, like I have a way specific story to tell you about being Haitian though, like when it comes to my family growing up. So my mom is Lebanese.
Yeah.
Right? It's Muslim. So, and my family is really about staying within like kind of like Middle Eastern. So the fact that my dad is Haitian, and then whenever I go to like the family meetups, they would always look at me weirdly. They would always like look at me in like disgust. Like I'm like, yo, like I'm like I'm a person too.
Yeah.
I'm a person too. But they'd always look at me in disgust. They'd always make fun of me for like just being darker too.
Yeah.
Having like, like more curlier hair and all that. Cause like you go there and it's a bunch of like, like Arab kids, but then you see me and I try to play with my cousins like, yo, like, oh, let me join in, and they look at me like, oh, you're trying to join us, you're not allowed, you know what I'm saying, like you Haitian. I'm like, bro, like what kind of shit is that?
Yeah.
And that's another thing that goes right back to the underdog, is because like even like the family that I would be with most of the time, because like once like my mom and dad split, I was with my mom, so I was always just looked down upon just for being Haitian. So yeah, in Ottawa, you don't really have that, but my family though, like that's my experience, bro. So
yeah. So you're an underdog in your core.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's why I pushed it. Like as soon as my dad said like, no, you're really an underdog, I'm like, no, I didn't even realize that, because I just thought like this is just normal. This is how life is. And then until I like really like focused on it and locked in on the fact, I was just like, oh damn, like no, for real, like that's why I push it.
No, yeah, honestly, you're an underdog, and like an example, one of the biggest legends in the game right now, Drake from Canada, he was an underdog coming in. A lot of people didn't believe in him because of the fact that at that time in the era he was coming in, it was a little more grit as far as rapping. He was more on the emotional side, and he touched more bases on feelings and experiences. And he was a singer, a child actor, so that all those things, they just labels didn't look at him like he was able to actually do music, and look at him today. So
facts.
Shout out to the underdogs.
Shout out underdogs, man.
So going back to what you were saying, as far as like in those times where you were going through these things, and you'll put your headphones on and escape into your own world, what was some of the artists that you was listening to?
Okay, like funny that we just talked about Drake. I'd be listening to like a lot of Drake, I ain't gonna lie. Like like my favorite song was Headlines. I just like walk home from school like on my dolly, like by myself.
Yeah.
And I'd always bump that song, the Moto, like just on the way back, because I would just love it. And sometimes I'd be walking back from school and I'd like act like I'm in the music video too. And yeah, like even though they was looking at me like, yo, what a weirdo, like I was in my own world, so like they couldn't stop me for real. Like so, yeah, I like Drake a lot. Everything like my dad played, he played like a lot of like Rick Ross, like I was saying earlier. Like actually I posted like a picture recently and I put like Rick Ross at the end of it, because we're in Miami, so you gotta like when I was in Miami, like we gotta shout out like Rick Ross still, because he's one of the legends.
Oh, shout out to Ross.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, Ross has been here.
He's been here?
Yeah, he did a podcast with Daily Deposits. They cover more so on sports, and out of the Carroll City area, and that's where Ross is from, Carroll City. So he came, he was on the show for Daily Deposits. So shout out to them. Shout out to the MMG family. Shout out to Rick Ross. Yeah. I've also interviewed, second episode is some of the artists that are under that camp with Lionhouse Management. So it's, you in close quarters. You're in close quarters. So I want to go back to as far as like the music, right? So like what's some of the stuff that you're working on currently?
All right, some of the stuff I'm working on currently is this project I'm planning to drop. It's called Seven. Right? Okay. SEVEN. And then you're probably wondering like what's like seven, So seven is a good amount of things for me. So I don't know if you're into like numerology and all that, but like that's like to get to the simplest thing. Like 7 is actually my numerology number.
Yeah.
And once I found that out, that kind of actually started the ball running, because like a lot of like the hustles I've been doing to kind of make money to promote myself, I realized like, okay, I have 7 of them. I have 7 hustles that I actually, work on to make my shit happen.
Yeah.
And then when did I start music? When is the first time I recorded?
Mm-hmm.
I was 7 years old when I recorded my first song at the studio. I went to the studio with my dad, and then I basically did a feature.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was at 7 years old. So that number it's me. It started me, and it's what's making me like, bring bread in as well. So that number is very important, and that's why like this project is called 7. And I'm also like dropping a single for it on March 29. It's called Envy.
Okay. Shout out to that. So I want to touch bases on. All right. So the next question I want to go off of is like, what was a breaking point for you, like a turning point for you, where you started to notice that the music wasn't just a dream or idea that you had to do, but that more so that was more concrete, something that you could actually achieve?
I'd say like 2018 is like when I really started like figuring out like as far as music on how to make it, and started really, I'm like, okay, that's 1 year I'm like, okay, like I'm starting to really like how I'm doing it. And then 2019 we dropped like my team and we dropped this song, this single that was actually on like this TV show soundtrack, but it was featuring French from like Toronto, and it's called The Young Rondo. Once that song dropped, the city was buzzing. And then once I started getting all that attention, I started going outside, and then it's like people know you now.
Yeah.
And then they start looking at you, and it's like, oh, yo, I know you. And then I'm like, okay, finally we got that first break.
Yeah.
That's the moment I'm like, okay, we really gotta like keep pushing this. And so from that point we just kept going, kept pushing. 2021 I had a little bit of a like a mental health thing that I had to like work on.
Yeah.
But then 2022 ran it right back. So yeah, to answer like to get to straight to the question, like yeah, I'd say like 2018, 2019 is that year that it really hit, where I'm like, yeah, we can definitely do this.
That's what's up. So like, where do you see yourself like as far as in the next 5 years? What are some goals that you got inspiring to achieve as far as the music?
Like yeah, that's the common question. 5 years. It's a far away from now, but I will admit I kind of like just know that I'm hustling in the moment, and I'm kind of planning out my years now, cuz like to be honest, I feel like planning 5 years sometimes is like you're putting too much on, like, and you're giving too much time with it. So I kind of plan by on a year by year basis, but to get to it in 5 years, like I'm imagining like I made it. Like I've been made it.
Yeah. Or as a matter of fact, let's rearrange it. What are your goals for this year?
Okay. Perfect.
Since that's how you operate,
Yeah.
what's your goals for this year?
Okay, so this year, like I was really planning to drop that finally drop an EP 7, because for the longest time it's just been singles, because that's like I find like just a better way to like push music out.
Yeah.
You're promoting something, you can promote one thing at a time, but I think I'm at my team actually like told me that like I'm at the level like I think I could drop an EP. So that was one of the goals. Drop an EP. Actually like have a vision board in my room of like everything that I want to accomplish throughout the year.
Yeah.
So yeah, EP. I want to try to hit 1 million streams this year, like from like just the year, like entirely throughout all platforms. Try to hit that mill. And I'm also gonna be dropping this single called I Don't Know in the summer, and I'm planning to like push that one heavy to make that like a real summer banger. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up.
Got some personal goals too. I ain't gonna lie, just to like kind of give the audience like a bit more about like me, just outside of the music. Like 2021, like or 2020, like COVID, I had like a big weight gain.
Yeah.
So like I've been like struggling with that actually all my life, to be honest with you. Like I was always big as a kid. That's one of the things that was making fun of me too.
Yeah. One of the things.
Yeah. So, and I've always like kind of lost weight, gained weight. Like I've been kind of fighting this battle for so long. And I'm not gonna lie, this year I really want to focus on stopping the friggin' loop, stopping this cycle of just gain weight, lose weight, gain weight, lose weight. Cause like it people like it actually puts like a mad toll on you. Like, you know, like even with your mental, with your confidence and all that. Like I'm confident.
Yeah.
But like when I still sit, I'm like, you know, but if you'd rather be healthier, you're still gonna be like, you're still gonna have that in the back of your mind. So that's one of like my personal goals this year. I really want to try to like switch my life around when it comes to my health.
Oh, that's
you know?
what's up. I think that's a great goal to have. I feel like everybody got like their own idea of how they see themselves. You know what I mean? And we all work towards it, you know, to try to match what we see, that perfect version of ourselves. So, you know, whether it's on the mental aspect, because you said COVID, I know that was a big thing for a lot of artists. A lot of dudes that was in the music game was really trying to figure out what's next, you know, especially the ones that's touring. They couldn't tour. So it was more so like, all right, well, what am I doing? And they were all trying to find different ways to keep the audience attention during the pandemic. And you know, so now, you know, we getting on the end of that. So that's a great thing right there. So I want to get some of your interests real quick. So I'm going to ask you a couple questions and ask you what's your top 4 for them, all right?
Okay.
All right, so we're going to start off with the producers. Who are your top 4 producers in the game?
Damn, okay. Metro's really like a GOAT. Metro's really a GOAT. I really like. I'm gonna name the new guys. To be honest, I'm gonna name because I know some of y'all watching. You're gonna look at me and be like, "Yo, wait, what about this one from like 1990?" Like, listen, I'm going on the people that I grew up with, like that really like kind of like helped me like figure out stuff. So, Pierre Bourne.
Shout out to Pierre.
As soon as I heard Pierre's beats, I'm like, I love how creative it is. One that like was my favorite like a good minute ago. But like I still, every time I hear this stuff, it's like, you know, is Take a Day Trip.
Yeah,
I really like that group. And lately, Riot's been killing it. You know, with Ice Spice and all that. Yeah. Riot's been going crazy.
Yeah, he's been going crazy. Yeah. All right, as far as top 4 artists.
Okay, that's a tough question. I'll try to answer this one quick still. I gotta give like the GOAT of Canada, Drake. You know, The Weeknd too, because Weeknd actually inspires me a lot.
Y'all got some heavy hitters.
We got some ghosts. Number 1 on Spotify. Weeknd, man. I really love Kendrick. And Tyler the Creator too. Those are like I really like Tyler the Creator as well.
I like Tyler for his creativity. He steps outside the box and he challenges himself.
That's exactly
in a way that most artists don't. Like they'll say, okay, I would try this, but I feel like this may go against the image that I am as an artist, and I don't want to tarnish that or ruin that, so I'm just gonna play it safe. But with Tyler, like with the Igor album, hearing that and just completely different from what we was accustomed to. So it's just, you know, getting that kind of music was refreshing. And you see at that time he was going, I think, head up with DJ Khaled at that time, because he dropped that around the same time, and he ended up winning, beating him out in sales as far as like between those 2 albums. So shout out to Tyler the Creator.
Yeah, I remember that. There's one I forgot to mention. He's in there too, but like, just like RP, like X.
One
of my biggest
shout
inspirations, like when I was younger.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie to you, like X. Like that, like that's the first artist, because I'm not like I love music and I have like my favorites, but X is the first person like I actually would consider like, yo, I mess with this guy, like I really
as a person,
I mess with him as a person. I mess with his music. I like what he's trying to do, better himself, all that. Because like even though we're not the same, I still kind of related to it. Because like, I'll give some more personal shit. Like there was a point in my life because of how like, I'm not trying to be a victim or none, but like the way people was kind of treating me, like in like quotations, like I did get bitter. I did get bitter at one point, and like I was like very hateful for like a good minute. And some of it was reflected in my music too, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. But just seeing someone like trying to like actually really better this stuff, change their image, and I'm just like, okay, like if he can do it, like really just try to change his image, and he did. He did change his image. I can really do that. So that's one of my biggest inspirations, like music wise and personally.
Yeah, you're one of the people that made it big to work on yourself. You know, just because you achieve accomplishments and success in the game doesn't mean you don't have to keep working on yourself as a person. You know, we all keep evolving, and you know, every year is like seasons. It's gonna be a different version of you, and you're gonna work on the different things. Just like how you say every year you got goals, and you know, the X was one of those ones that definitely did it at a high level as far as X. So shout out to X.
Shout out XRP.
Shout out to, yeah. Homegrown out of Broward. He was one of the people that kicked it off for Broward, actually. Because around here, around that time, it was just mainly Miami. Miami had like all the big heavy hitters from the Rick Ross, Trick Daddy, Trina, Pitbull, Flo Rida. But like when that wave came with like X and Kodak Black, that's kind of like what really kicked it off for Broward. And since then, Broward has been getting more on the map. So yeah. So as far as your music, how I know you said you're an underdog, but what are some of the other characteristics that you add into your music that people could look for?
Like give me a little more like this.
What's the best way you would describe your music?
Okay. The best way is okay. So yeah. You were actually playing games earlier.
Yeah.
The thing about that song, like, I really like want to portray my emotion of how I'm feeling in the moment when it comes to like the song. Okay. Like, so playing games, like, I was like really like not feeling what the girl was doing, so I made sure I put the emotion of how I felt within my voice. So you hear it and you're like, okay, I see how he's feeling on this one. But in another track, if I'm like on some more happier vibe, you'll see me being like way more on like a more smiley vibe. Even the beat, because I make the beats too, right?
Yeah.
The beat might sound more happy. So definitely, like, I'll say when it comes to my music, you can definitely feel the emotion. And I have a lot of like unreleased in the work that like are like that song I Don't Know.
Yeah.
If you go on my IG, like some IGs, like I've been posting previews on it. You listen to it, you'll see like, okay, yeah, the emotion is really there. Okay. Because like I talk about some like serious stuff on that song. So yeah, you listen to my music, you know you're gonna definitely get how I'm feeling. Okay.
So I want to thank you for coming on the show, man. I appreciate it. This was a great session, getting to know you as an artist. Where can they find you?
You can find me at KGJ. That's KGJAY everywhere. Follow me on Instagram. Like, subscribe to my YouTube. Follow me on Snapchat, actually, KGJ Music. I'm actually posting way more on there lately. Like, you know, kind of getting into day-to-day business. So if you're trying to see like more like about me personally, you can get me on Snapchat. But yeah, man. Or just like, if you can't find all of them, just Google my name and you're going to find it. Once again, KGJAY.
All right. And make sure you hit that notification bell on YouTube. Anytime that he's dropping, it'll let you know, send you a notification. Follow him on all DSPs. Follow the AV Club. Follow A2A.podcast on all platforms. We're on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. And follow your boy Westside.
Give some quick shout outs before I leave. Like, shout out, obviously we're going to shout out my dad first.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? And even though tough time growing up, like, still shout out mom. Regardless, I love you. No matter what you do, I'm always gonna love you. Shout out my crew right here. Like, you can't see them on cam, but they here. I got like Wish right there. I got D-So, so shout out them. Shout out Ottawa, man. Like, I'm gonna put you on the map for real. Like, I'm gonna make sure they know Ottawa. And like, shout out you, man. Shout out you for having me, for real.
Appreciate you, my boy. I appreciate you big time for coming through, man.
Yeah, bro. Thank you. And oh yeah, shout out DT. He's not here, but like he's on the trip too.